The smartest order to invest your money in 2026. The sovereignty script in a world of noise. Imagine a stickman named Joe. It is a Tuesday morning in the year 2026, and Joe is staring at his laptop screen with a look of pure cognitive exhaustion. The financial world he was taught to navigate in the previous decade has been replaced by a landscape of geopolitical noise and architectural fragmentation. The headlines are screaming about the Greenland Gambit, the Sell America trend among international fund managers, and a global economy vibrating between technological productivity and war-driven inflation. Joe has some money left over from his paycheck, but he is paralyzed. Should he buy the dip in the S&P 500? Should he hoard cash because banks are getting nervous? Or should he chase the latest AI-driven dividend stock he saw on a finance subreddit? Joe is a victim of information overflow harvesting. The system wants Joe to be reactive. It wants him to jump from one asset to another, paying fees, triggering taxes, and losing his sovereign purchasing power to the invisible erasers of fiscal drag. Our forensic audit of the 2026 economy reveals that investing is no longer about picking winners. It is about hierarchy. In the barbell economy, wealth is not built by chance. It is built by following a sovereignty script, a precise mathematical order of operations that ensures every dollar Joe earns is shielded, multiplied, and anchored before the algorithm can harvest it. Today, we are performing a surgery on your financial architecture. We are going to break down the 9 steps of the smart order of operations for the year 2026. We will look at why the $1,000 starter shield is your most important tool, how the new $8,750 family HSA limit is a tax-free vault you cannot ignore, and why your final destination must be the building of a bridge account and a digital anchor of 0.1 Bitcoin. If you follow the success script of the masses, you will end up in the $178,000 salary trap, earning more but owning nothing. To escape, you need a different map. Let's start at the foundation. The tactical shield and the toxicity threshold, steps 1 to 3. To Joe, the first 3 steps of the smart order of operations often feel like he is standing at the bottom of a massive, icy mountain. The system wants him to feel this way. It wants Joe to believe that investing is something you only do once you are already rich. But our forensic audit of the 2026 economy reveals that the first $1,000 is the most aggressive investment Joe will ever make. Step 1. The $1,000 tactical shield. Joe's first priority is to secure a starter buffer of exactly $1,000. In previous decades, this was called an emergency fund. In 2026, we call it a tactical shield. Why? Because, as we analyzed in our audit of the poverty premium, being broke is a high-interest subscription service. Without this $1,000, Joe is mathematically forced to pay the £380 or dollar stealth tax every year. He pays £71 extra for car insurance because he has to pay monthly. He pays £261 extra for food because he cannot buy in bulk. And he pays £129 extra for energy because he is trapped on a prepayment meter. By securing this first $1,000, Joe isn't just saving. He is instantly generating a 38% return on his capital by neutralizing the system's ability to bite him with small fees. Step 2. The employer match and the toxicity line. Once Joe has his shield, he moves to Step 2, the employer match. In the year 2026, this remains the only free lunch left in the global ledger. If Joe's employer offers a match on his 401k, Joe contributes exactly enough to capture every penny. To do anything less is to accept a 100% loss on his labor value. Simultaneously, Joe must perform a surgery on his liabilities. We call this the toxicity threshold. In our audit, any debt with an interest rate above 7% is classified as mathematical poison. Whether it is high-interest credit cards or the buy now, pay later traps that have snared 20% of low-income households, this debt is an invisible eraser that works faster than any index fund can grow. Joe stops all other investments until every dollar of debt above 7% is vaporized. He understands that you cannot build a skyscraper on a foundation of quicksand. Step 3. Building the tactical buffer toward the silent alarm. With his high-interest debt gone, Joe enters step 3, expanding his shield into a full tactical buffer. The goal here is not a vague 6 months of expenses. Joe is aiming for the $20,000 silent alarm threshold. Our forensic lens shows that $20,000 is the level where the bank's relationship with Joe fundamentally shifts. Below this level, the high-engagement algorithms see Joe as a resource to be harvested through fees and low-yield accounts. But at $20,000, the bank gets nervous. Joe now has enough liquidity to move his capital instantly. He has exit velocity. This buffer is held in a high-yield cash equivalent, ensuring Joe never has to sell his hull of sovereignty during a market sell-off caused by the next round of geopolitical noise. He is no longer a victim of the big freeze in the labor market because he has bought himself time. Joe is now ready to move from survival to multiplication. The growth stimulators and the tax-free vault, steps 4 to 6. Joe has secured his foundation. His high-interest debt is gone, and he has reached the $20,000 silent alarm threshold. Now, our forensic audit of the 2026 tax code, specifically the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, OBBBA, reveals that the path to multiplication is paved with MAGI suppression. Step 4. The HSA Double Tap. In the year 2026, the Health Savings Account, HSA, has evolved into the ultimate success shield. The family contribution limit has risen to $8,750, with an additional $1,000 catch-up for each spouse over the age of 55. Joe performs a double tap on his balance sheet. First, every dollar he contributes lowers his modified adjusted gross income dollar for dollar, shielding him from the OBBBA phase-out traps that start at $75,000 for single filers. Second, that money grows tax-free and can be withdrawn tax-free for medical expenses, effectively creating a vault that the invisible erasers of the IRS cannot touch. Step 5. The Roth IRA and the Flexibility Anchor. Next, Joe targets the Roth IRA. In 2026, the standard contribution limit is $7,500, with an additional $1,100 catch-up for those over 50. Joe understands that while the system wants to lock his money in a slow-motion tax trap, like the traditional 401k, the Roth IRA offers architectural optionality. He can withdraw his contributions at any time without penalty, providing an extra layer to his tactical buffer while ensuring his gains are never harvested by future tax hikes. Step 6. Hyperaccumulation and the 25% rule. Now Joe enters the engine room of wealth, hyperaccumulation. Our audit shows that saving a little is a recipe for permanent fragility in the barbell economy. Joe aims to invest 25% of his gross income. By hitting this 25% mark, Joe is building what we call escape velocity. He is no longer just participating in the economy. He is building a surplus that allows him to ignore the big freeze in the labor market. He is moving from the crop column to the owner column. Advanced sovereignty and the digital anchor, steps 7 to 9. Joe is now in the top 5% of financial thinkers. He has followed the script to the letter. But to truly survive 2027 and the great wealth transfer, he must complete the final 3 steps of the positioning protocol. Step 7. The bridge account handshake. Because Joe wants to quietly escape the rat race before the government-mandated age of 59.5, he builds a bridge account. This is a taxable brokerage account that acts as a bridge between his early retirement and his restricted retirement funds. Joe uses low-cost index funds like VTI and VXUS, maintaining a global market weighting of roughly 63% US and 37% international to hedge against the Sell America trend. He isn't chasing dividends, he is chasing architectural liquidity. Step 8. Securing the digital anchor, 0.1 Bitcoin. Joe performs a surgery on his hull. He recognizes that even the best index funds are contractual claims held by custodians. To achieve true sovereignty, Joe secures 0.1 Bitcoin in cold storage. As our audit of scarcity revealed, 0.1 is 38 times the global fair share. By holding his own private keys, Joe ensures that a portion of his wealth is immune to fiscal drag, bank nervousness, and the RUFADAA hierarchy of digital purging. This is his hard deck, the capital of last resort. Step 9. The OBBBA ceiling audit. The final step is the maintenance audit. Joe looks at the $15 million estate tax exemption and the senior bonus deduction of $6,000. He realizes that as his wealth grows, the system will try to itemize his life. Joe implements a bunching strategy for his charitable giving, ensuring he clears the new 0.5% AGI floor to maximize his deductions under the OBBBA. He is no longer reactive. He is a sovereign capital allocator who manages his modified adjusted gross income with the precision of a surgeon. The forensic verdict and the architectural exit. Joe stands at the summit of his financial mountain. By following the smart order of operations, he has done more than just save money. He has performed a total architectural rebuild of his life. Our forensic audit of the 2026 economy shows that the old success script, the one where you just work hard and hope for the best, now leads directly into the $178,000 salary trap. Without a hierarchy, your raises are harvested by fiscal drag, your savings are eroded by currency devaluation, stealing approximately 3% of your wealth annually, and your legacy is locked behind the RUFADAA digital wall. Joe's new reality is different. He neutralized the 380-pound poverty premium with his $1,000 tactical shield. He protected himself from the bank's high engagement algorithms by reaching the $20,000 silent alarm. He performed a double tap on the IRS by maxing his $8,750 HSA, suppressing his modified adjusted gross income to stay below the OBBBA phase-out traps. He secured his hard deck with 0.1 Bitcoin, moving a portion of his net worth into the direct private ownership column, 38 times the global fair share. And he built his bridge account, giving him the strategic optionality to walk away from the rat race whenever he chooses. The verdict is simple. In the year 2026, income is a resource for the system, but sovereignty is an asset for you. If you don't have an order of operations, you are playing a game where the house always wins. By implementing this script, Joe has moved from being a harvestable product on the bank's balance sheet to being the sovereign capital allocator of his own future. The sign-off. The world of 2027 is coming, and it will be defined by the largest transfer of wealth in human history, $84 trillion. But remember the Williams Group study. 70% of wealthy families lose that fortune by the second generation. They lose it because they have money, but no architecture. Don't be a statistic. Build your shield. Capturing your match, vaporize your debt, and reach for the anchor. If this forensic audit of the smart order of operations changed how you see your next paycheck, hit that subscribe button. We are dissecting the hidden equations of the 2026 economy every week to help you stop being the crop and start being the owner. I'm Joe from fin.stickman, and I will see you in the next one.